Dead Code Diaries.
In a small town nestled between thick pine forests and misty hills, life was once quiet, peaceful. Children played in sun-dappled fields, dogs barked in backyards, and every evening the sky turned golden, casting a warmth over the rooftops like a lullaby. 5-year-old Eli Whitmore lived in such a place. He was an ordinary boy with a gap-toothed smile, a fondness for peanut butter sandwiches, and a stuffed bear named Waffles he never let go of. His parents, Sarah and Jonathan Whitmore, were kind-hearted and careful. His mother sang lullabies at bedtime. His father read old storybooks about knights and dragons and made up stories when he ran out of pages. Then, one evening, the sky didn't turn gold. It turned red. It began subtly. A news report mentioned strange outbreaks of anemia in cities across the globe. Then came missing persons, wild animal attacks. Curfews were implemented. The president appeared on television with tired eyes and declared a global health emergency. But in the Whitmore home, they tried to carry on. Eli played with Waffles. Sarah stocked food in the basement. Jonathan boarded up the windows. The power went out one night and never came back. On the third week, Eli noticed something strange. At night, Sarah would sit in the corner of the room and stare at the wall, whispering things in a language Eli didn't understand. Her eyes were dull. Her skin had turned pale, almost blue. Jonathan was next. He locked himself in the bathroom for hours. Eli heard scraping sounds, thumping, and once a slurp. The next morning, only Eli came out. He sat on the steps of their porch with Waffles while the world grew quiet, too quiet. No more barking dogs, no more birds, just the wind and faint screaming from the forests. Weeks passed, months maybe. Time didn't exist anymore, only night. The sun had vanished behind a permanent eclipse, or something worse. Shadows ruled everything now. The world became a husk. Buildings collapsed, roads cracked, and above all else, there were eyes in the dark. Red, unblinking, hungering. Eli wandered through towns and cities, empty and rotting. He saw the signs of what had happened. Piles of clothes, streaks of blood leading into storm drains, only shadows melting into darkness. Torn out Bible pages fluttering in the wind. And he saw them, the vampires. Not the romantic kind from stories. These were starved, bat-like horrors, with twisting spines and jaws that unhinged. They crept through shadows, their limbs too long, their nails like blades. Some wore the remnants of clothes, but they were barely human anymore. They didn't touch Eli. They looked at him, sniffed the air around him, hissed, but never attacked. He didn't know why. One night, Eli found an old radio tower still running on backup solar. Static buzzed through it, but then a voice.
If anyone can hear me, this is the Citadel, safe haven. Latitude 36.8. Please, we're not all gone. Please.
Eli, alone but determined, followed the coordinates. Across dead cities, through vampire nests where bone wind chimes clinked softly in the breeze, through forests where people once lived, now turned to feral, night-creeping creatures, vampires with white, lidless eyes and limbs bent backwards. He met people, survivors. A soldier named Reyes, armed with UV bombs and a broken leg. A nurse named Clara, who carried holy water in baby bottles. A priest, Father Gale, who had tattooed scriptures across his entire body. One by one, they joined Eli. One by one, they protected him. One by one, they died. Reyes was torn apart in a subway tunnel after shielding Eli. Clara melted into ash when a vampire spat venom into her eyes. Father Gale was dragged, screaming, into a cathedral, where the stained glass windows dripped with blood. Through all of it, Eli survived. He finally reached the Citadel, an ancient mountain fortress surrounded by mirrored walls that reflected moonlight. The survivors there stared when they saw him. A doctor scanned his blood, and then they understood. Eli wasn't just human. He was the cure. Somehow, he carried antibodies in his blood that repelled the vampiric virus. His scent made vampires recoil. His presence unsettled them. He wasn't immune. He was hope. But the vampires knew it too. That very night, as the scientists began preparations to replicate his blood, the walls shook. The mountains roared. They came. Thousands of them. A swarm of vampires. Wings and claws and rage pouring from the sky like a hurricane of flesh and fangs. The mirrored walls cracked. The floodlights dimmed. The screams began. Eli hid beneath the chattel. He clutched Waffles, and then silence. He emerged to find everyone gone. No blood, no bodies, just silence. And in the center of the Citadel, a single figure waited. A tall woman in a black dress, pale, her face ageless, her eyes like dying stars. Lilith, the first vampire. She smiled down at Eli.
You are precious, little one. Not just a cure, but a creation. You were made, not born.
Eli's breath caught. Waffles slipped from his hand.
Your blood is the result of centuries of experiments. The perfect play. Immune, pure, untouched.
He backed away, but she didn't follow.
We won't kill you. Not yet. We will watch. Wait. You will grow. And one day, when we're ready, the real feast will begin.
Years passed. The world remained dark. But Eli grew older, stronger, the last human, or something more. He wandered still, left messages on old radios, painted "I am here" on rooftops. He knew the vampires were always watching. He could feel them, but they never touched him. Until he turned 13. That night, he had a dream. He stood before a burning tree. The sky wept blood. Waffles spoke with a voice like thunder.
The end begins when you choose to stop running.
Eli woke up with glowing veins. The air vibrated. He looked into the mirror and saw his eyes, not red, not human, golden. He understood then. He wasn't the last human. He was the first of something new. A child born of the old world, immune to darkness and destined to fight it. He picked up a jagged stake and stepped into the night. The war wasn't over. It had just begun.